Alrighty, how you doing? I was just thinking of a way I could explain some of the problems with clips in programming in UWP, in WPF, etc. with Inkscape, what I don't like about Inkscape, the way it does things, and give a few more examples of clips. At the same time, maybe give a couple hints in Inkscape of how to do things. So we are going to create a very basic chibi, some chibi parts. I think we're just going to do the head first, however long that takes. And this is in reference to my programming tutorial that I got right now going on YouTube on UWP Binding and Vector Graphics, making a vector graphics application. So we are going to basically recreate stuff from this guy. I'm just going to keep that up on another window. And I am going to start another Inkscape application up. Set it up. If you don't have these tabs, I didn't even think about that, did I? If you don't have these tabs, tough luck. Here we go. This extensions, filters. Once you show these tabs, you never remember how to get back to them. The easiest way is just to go over to this little button. You should have this tab view, at least for the tree view in Inkscape. And just go over to this little button and you should see most of them. We are going over to the Document Properties tab to set things up easily. I just leave it open. It's way down there. And we're going over to Pixel, because millimeters makes no sense. It makes less sense than inches. The whole imperial standard metric war going on, it makes no sense in Inkscape or Curta. I have no idea how it's traveled over into these environments because we work in pixels, so that makes no sense. Okay, so we're going to start off with the head. And that's the best place to really see. I'm going to hold down the Control, hit the Shift key, and hit the C key. And then I'm going to hit the S key. And that's going to turn this into a path instead of a ellipse. And before we change the color, I'm going to select those two right there. And when one of these turns red, I'm going to hold down the Control key and I'm going to move this down just a little bit to give it a little bit more of an egg shape. I'm going to hold down the Control key and move these over just a little bit each. Control key will keep my line straight. So if I do this, I can do all that. But if I hold down the Control key, it will click if I fight hard enough, but it keeps the line straight. If you try to keep the line straight, it will keep the line straight. And I'm going to go over to Fill now. It says there is no fill defined. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to select that first one. Go over to Stroke. Then go over to Stroke Style and give it a stroke style of 2. Nah, let's go up to 4. Okay. A little bit rounder than my previous model, but that's okay. That can be very much part of the example. Now I'm going to hit the S key. The problem with using the shortcut keys is if you have any numeric thing selected and you hit the shortcut key, Inkscape will type the alpha character into the numeric field. And then when you tab off of it, a lot of the times it will actually cause something crazy to go on. Like if I go up here and I go S, well, didn't do it. But sometimes it will just totally flip out. That's okay. And I am going to move that back to 4. I am going to go to the Alignments and Distribute. That's up at the top. If you don't have the tab open, I'm going to change this to page. Click that little button right there to put it right in the center of my page. Hit the S key again. Well, it was already selected. And now I am going to select the head, duplicate it, hit the N key, grab that vertex, and just drag it on down. I'm going to select those two vertices alone, and I'm going to hit this right here, make selected node corner. And that way we can do a corner instead of a smooth. These are smooth. When I move one side, the other side moves in conjunction. Corners, you can move the sides differently. And on this one, it's the only one I want right now. I kind of want to pull side of it in. I want it to be different. Okay, I'm going to jump back up to my paint, and I'm going to turn off the path. I'm going to go over to the fill. This is the bottom of his face, so there's going to be a shadow, kind of an After Effects shadow. So for that one, we really don't need a clip. There's nothing to hide here. Here are some of the reasons why. Our head shape is, we have this button, order, second button selected. Now, when I select the first button, look what happens. I have now painted inside the line. So this is the order of things, order in which things will paint. And this will paint the path first, then it paints the fill. Okay, this one paints the fill first, and then it paints the path. And that, you can't really work around that. So up on the top though, I'm going to select the head again. And we're going to put a highlight on the top, and we're going to mess it up on purpose so we can use a clip. Hold down the control key, pull this up, way up to here. I'm actually going to pull these two up also. And that just messes it up. That's okay. Now I could spend a lot of time trying to fix this. I'm going to get rid of that path. I'm going to go over to the fill, and I'm going to lighten that up because of the sunlight shining down on his head. And hit the select key. I select the head itself, hold down the control, and hit the D key. That duplicates it. These are my last two items. There's a highlight and there's a head. Selecting both of them, I can right click right there and say set clip. Right click on top of them both selected and say set clip. Or I can go to object, clip, and say set clip. I tell you that because sometimes when you right click in here, it will deselect everything except what you're right clicking on. And therefore you get kind of used to using one of the other two. And bam, there we go. Now, the problem with this is if I can't see my clip anymore while I'm using the clip. So to actually, if I change the head shape at all, so now I want to go, let's say I want to go back to my original idea. My original thing over here. And I want him to be a little bit more of a pinhead. Well, now I've got to go to this, to my clip shape. I have to hit the S key. I have to release the clip, delete this one, duplicate this again, and now set my clip again. And there we have just kind of the head, a chibi head. And if you want to go to an American style head, this is really, really how you do it. You move a little bit rounder. But now you have to redo everything again because you can't really use the clips for that in Inkscape. But let's go ahead and do some ears real fast. I want to select those three, hold down the control key, hit the G key to group them so they're the head. And now I'm going to hit the E key to grab the ellipse. It should be, I'm going to hold down the control, shift, and hit the C key. Turn it into a path. it should be a little bit darker. First, let's grab that skin color exactly. And, you know, the ear is going to be a little bit darker. I'm going to give it a border, but it's not going to be anywhere near. Yeah, that'll work. And now I'm just going to grab one of these. I'm going to go ahead and design my ear a little bit before I put it on the head. Now let's say that I have done something really bad and it's very sharp. It's a very sharp edge on my curve, like that. And it doesn't look good, and let's say this is actually going to show. What I can try is select that node, hit this key twice to get rid of it, and then come back and hit that key again. And it'll re-round it. It can also mess everything up, but it should re-round it. I'm going to drag that over, and I'm going to hit the page down key, which doesn't always work, but that should move it to the bottom. If it doesn't, you'll come over here, select it, and move it to the bottom that way. Now I'm going to hit the B key to get the curve line. And I'm just going to draw a little bit of an inner ear there. Now I'm going to hit the N key, select everything in there, and just curve it out. Now, go back to the fill, give it a fill, and then just make it a little bit darker. And now I want to make that line much thinner. Let's try 0.15. And maybe even turn that line into the color of the skin and then darken it up a little bit. I have HSV selected. If you want to work in RGB, that's fine. But for a lot of things, HSV is really good. So I'm going to hit the S key or the N key again. Grab that last node, and I'm going to hit. I can hold down the control key sometimes and pull the nodes out, but you can't in this case. Ours is a shift key. It's a shift key, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and you can make an easy corner that way. But one other way to do it is to first select the node, hit the curve key, and then hit the corner key. And it's really your choice. Okay. Now I'm going to select both, group them, page down again, duplicate, and I'm going to hit this button to flip it. And I'm going to pull it over. I don't want them to be perfectly in line on how far they are away from the head, but I did hold down the control key so they are in line across. So they're a little bit different size, a little bit of an elf here. Now if you want to go more chibi, you can hold down the control key and just pull them down a little bit, and then tuck the ears in a little bit, make them smaller. Okay, and that, I think I should stop right here on this first part of the tutorial. As I'm going along with the programming tutorial on our vector graphics application, I will come back and do more of this. And this is one of the reasons I started working on that project, is I had this great old GDI Plus application where I would store regular vector graphics like this that I would use. I could just pump them out again. I could just go to my library inside the application and select it, and it would give me the base item, and then I could redecorate it however I want it. But yeah, I think I'm going to come back. I'm going to do the eyes, the mouth, the nose, the hands, the whole body. But that's a little bit of an elf chibi right there. And that'll work. Where is this? Where's the other one? Anyway. I'll just call it Chibi Tutorial. I don't know why I took this screen off my page. Okay. And I probably want to make that darker, to tell you the truth. He's an after 5 elf. And so you can grab that and that, but it just won't work. This won't do anything because it's clipped, and we can't adjust the clip itself. Very annoying fact about Inkscape. But we will return. See you in the next video. God bless. Oh, and if you got something out of this, like and subscribe. I got to get good at saying that. Like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye.